Alright, you sexy sons of guns, we're back at it with another Borderlands 3 video, and recently I did a video talking about Doll as a manufacturer in this game, and today we're going to be kind of continuing that little series on. So what we're going to be talking about, the manufacturer, Dave couldn't read the title, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be the homies over at Maliwan. Now first off, Maliwan, the Maliwan takedown's probably the best piece of content. I know that's totally like an irrelevant side note, but I just want to say that. Anyways, so first off, Maliwan is like legitimately stacked. I guess the weakest part of the Maliwan would probably be their shotguns. So I mean, some of them are good. I mean, obviously, the recursion was king for so long before it had a nerf. I mean, the recursion is still solid and stuff like that. But I'm just saying the shotgun is probably the weaker side of the Maliwan manufacturer. The strong suits of the Maliwan manufacturer, let's be real here, the SMGs, hello, and then the pistols. Now, obviously, Maliwan, it's one of those unique manufacturers. Each manufacturer is unique in their own right. Jacob's pellets, crits will always ricochet pellet. Maliwan, it generally drops in 2 elements, right? You're rotating, you can always flip the switch and switch between elements, which, I mean, me personally, I've never found to be overly game breaking, but it's kind of nice just to have that in your back pocket or something like that. Some guns, they're locked into one element, but for the most part with Maliwans, you could flip between at least 2. Now, bear in mind, probably the most preferred vault hunter to use Maliwan on is definitely going to be Moze, at least in my opinion. Now, if y'all watch the channel for a bit, y'all know that your boy here loves to play Moze and Flak, and obviously Moze with Maliwan weapons, it works really, really well. I mean, look, when this game first came out, dude, there's always been a Maliwan weapon or Maliwan SMG that's always been top tier in the meta at some point in this game. You think about when this game first came out, dude, you have the Cutsman. That was huge for when the Maliwan, takedown first came out. Then you also had things like the Kibsworth take over for a bit. You have things like the fucking Flipper, bro. The Flipper released with DLC 3 and is still to this day an absolute godly of an SMGs. I'm going to do a level 72 Flipper showcase at some point for sure, because that is personally one of my favorite SMGs in this game casually. Also on release, a very underrated weapon, at least in my opinion, is the Wester gun. It's like a great value Walmart version of the Flipper, which I know might sound bad, but considering it's a Flipper, the Wester gun's actually pretty good. And it's a guaranteed drop from Private Beans on Athena's. Just throwing that out there. Unfortunately, the Iron Laser has never been all that good. But then, you had things like, I don't know, the Plasma Coil. Dude, you have some weapons that people argue which is better, and they're both from the same manufacturer. People always go back and forth between the Flipper and the Plasma Coil all day, every day, and they're literally on the same manufacturer. That doesn't say how good Maliwan is right there. Come on now, let's be real here. And then when the DNA got its buff a few months back, it actually became very competent, which is obviously very, very good and useful as well. The Polymorphs isn't really all that good. The Tsunami is okay, it can be fun, but I mean, let's be real here. When you have you have an SMG like the Kree, which is just so easily attainable. Then you have things like the Flipper and the Plasma Coil. Those are all easily, if you ask me, top 6 SMGs in the game. They're so good. Then hold up. Honorable mention, you have some pretty good snipers. I mean, the Krakatoa can still be pretty okay. Then you have things like the Root, which can be quite deadly to say the least. Pistols, right? Don't get me wrong, there's some dud pistols in here. I'm sorry, Super Ball, but I'm looking at you. Thunderball Fist, come on now, really? And then you, come on now, I'm sorry. But outside of that, just about every other pistol is pretty good. The Sellout was an OG pistol that came out that people were using to proc elemental projector deathlesses, or not just deathlesses, but just elemental projectors back in May M3 to get that huge damage boost, because we didn't really have an artifact that could give you that quick big extra increase in damage like that back then. So people would use a weak Sellout just to proc that. Now don't get me wrong, the Sellout these days is not used for that at all nearly as much, just because how much new gear we have and stuff like that, but it's there, you know what I'm saying? You pick it up one pun down. Now you have your base game weapon on the Hellshock, which honestly the Hellshock is freaking amazing. A Hellshock as a base game vanilla weapon that switch between switch between fire and shock. It's locked to those 2 elements, but it's very good. It has a very nice solid high base damage on the card, and just overall it's a hard-hitting Maliwan pistol. You're gonna notice that there's 3 main same class of same family of Maliwan pistols, but each one gets better than the last. So the Hellshock is the third one. It's like the OG of them. Then you have my homie from DLC 3, the Beacon. The Beacon is literally just literally it's a much stronger version of the Hellshock. Unfortunately, the Beacon's main legendary perk is kind of, at least for me, not all that useful, because I generally use the Beacon with a Blastmaster, and with this, with the Beacon's main perk, you want to reload it, because the reloads trigger a Nova of the current element that you have on it. So if you have a radiation, cryo, corrosive, fire shock, stuff like that, it's going to shoot out a Nova of that element whenever you reload it. But a Blastmaster, it's about not reloading at all. Now, bear in mind, you could use it with a Minesweeper or Bloodletter or a Green Monster, something like that, and then or Flare. God, dude, a Flare. I sleep on a Flare, no cap. And then you could reload and make use of it. But for me, I like the Blastmaster a lot with Mo's, and Blastmaster just puts in work. I mean, all three of these Maliwan pistols, they all do splash damage base, so they're all going to get boosted by the Demolition Womanry, which is obviously very, very good. Obviously you run short fuse, hello, very, very good stuff like that. Very good synergy with Mo's as well. That's why I said Maliwan with Mo's. It's just so good. It's like gravy on mashed potatoes, bro. It just runs so well. Anyways, honorable mention is the Revenge of the Cartels pistol, the Grease Trap. The Grease Trap is probably one of the most fun weapons in the game, especially in co-op. In solo play, not that much, because it's you have to toggle back and forth between the lighter fluid and then the fire starter of the fire per se to actually get the most bang for your buck. However, when you have one homie dousing the enemies with just the lighter fluid, and then you're big time chilling with the actual fire starter, it's actually pretty insane what can go down, especially on Mo's. All that fire damage, man. I'm scaling. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, my boy. Anyways, let's be real here. The main prize of Maliwan pistols, dude, the goddamn free radical, dude, is absolutely, I mean, it's amazing. It's a DLC 6 pistol. You have to do it from the Ava missions. I believe it's Ghost of the Kairos Canyon, and Beef Pliskin, I think is his name, is one who drops it. It only drops in shock. A lot of Maliwan weapons drop in shock, but god dang, dude, this thing is such a hard-hitting base pistol, and it shoots homing projectiles on impact, and you're always going to activate that. Versus with the Beacon, if you use a Blast Smasher, you're not going to activate the perk. Free Radical, you are. Not only that, dude, the Free Radical, mine is sitting at a base. It's not even a ×2. It's literally a ×1, 107k chilling. Just chilling. We're using a Maliwan company man as well, along with the Revolter. It's a really good rolled Maliwan company man. Magazine size twice, crit damage, movement speed. I mean, movement speed is okay, but mag size, double mag size, what is just especially with running that Blastmaster, baby, you already know. Overall, dude, if I have to give Maliwan a ranking, I can't quite give it a 10 out of 10, but dude, I'm giving this thing easily a 9 out of 10, bro. No questions asked. When you have, I mean, shit. The only reason I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10 is because it has a weakness in shotgun, in the shotgun category. If it had one, I'll give it a 9.5, dude. Give me maybe, I don't know, dude. Maybe if some buffs come out, then push Maliwan to 10. But dude, you could argue it's a 10 out of 10 to me, and I could totally see your argument, because you have things like, first off, you have the plasma coil, the flipper, the crit, just to name a few insanely good SMGs. Then you have Hellshock, Free Radical, and the Beacon. Boom. There's your stockpile of just absurdly good weapons. Oh, and then you do have the Root as well, which can be fun. Unfortunately, there's no assault rifles, which does kind of suck. But when you have power in those SMGs and pistol categories, dude, that's fine. That's fine. Other than that, though, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the Maliwan manufacturer down below. I want to know. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. On the road to 10k subs. Anyways, my name's Kree, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.